Today, I'm fortunate to introduce my friend for a long time, Mr. KJ Sharma. And we are going to discuss about relevance of Bhagavad Gita and remove some of the misinformation about Bhagavad Gita. So Sharma ji, so it's a brief introduction about you. We just want to talk about the relevance of Bhagavad Gita. What do you think, people like me who are in the modern world, living in America for a long time, or, younger people who are growing up in America and other countries, they always have this question, I don't believe anything, there's a God, and different types of questions they have. And I know Gita has a lot of knowledge, but why did he choose a place like Kurukshetra, where it's a battlefield, where relatives, cousins, they were all on the opposite side and trying to fight each other? And why did Krishna choose to talk about Gita to Arjuna?
Yes, it's a very good question, Upendra ji. First of all, we have to understand what is Bhagavad Gita. The name itself signifies Song of God. Why it is called Song of God? Because the whole presentation of Bhagavad Gita is in a poetic verses. All the verses are like a poem. But this was a dialogue which was given in the battlefield. And why Krishna chose giving the knowledge in the battlefield, as you asked, because human life is also something like a battle. We are always struggling with certain confusions, what to do, what not to do. But what to do and what not to do is possible only when one can determine, once one has the proper knowledge. Out of ignorance, people cannot perform in the righteous way. So that is why we need some source of knowledge, and that source of knowledge is Bhagavad Gita. So the relevance of Bhagavad Gita is very much in every individual's life, because every individual of any faith anywhere in the world, everyone has got the confusion and the problem is struggling for something or the other. But for that, the right knowledge is very important, and that source of knowledge is Bhagavad Gita. That's why the relevance of Bhagavad Gita is there. And I would say that Bhagavad Gita is not a religious book, because the knowledge of this was not given in a temple or a church. It was given in the battlefield. So this is not a religious book. This is a book of knowledge. So this is for the whole mankind.
Going back to, you were talking about knowledge, light and darkness and ignorance.
Yeah.
And how do you relate to the sattva, rajas and tamas?
Yeah.
Explaining that, sattva is
My entire srishti, entire manifestation of the universe are the combination of 4 varnas and 3 gunas. 4 varnas are Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, and 3 gunas are Satoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. So the combination of this, by this, the entire universe is there. And Maya is driving out of this combination. Now here, I would also like to say that when you say Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, these are not jati, these are not caste. This is a very big ignorance in our Hindu society, that they think that Brahman is a jati. It is not. It is the varna, it is a sanskar. The entire all living beings are under these 4 varnas. Even in our body itself, these four varnas characteristics are there. The head is the seat of knowledge. This is Brahman. Chest, this is to fight and the energy to do all work. This is Kshatriya. Abdomen receives the food, distributes the food in the body. This is Vaishya. The legs holding all the three characteristics of the society. These are Sudras. But all the four are most important. Without these four, neither the body can survive, can perform, or can exist, nor the society. So these are not caste, not jati. Jati is only mano jati, pasu jati, pakshi jati, matsya jati, sarp jati. Means whosoever has got the kind of body, they are of that.
Where we build different temples and all that. Then you have the Shiva temples, you have Vishnu temples, you have, Krishna temples and things like that. So then, you look at Shankaracharya, and then you have Ramanujacharya and Madhvacharya talking about non-dualism, dualism, Advaita, Dvaita, Vishishta Advaita. So how does the Gita address the dualism and non-dualism aspects of the knowledge?
If you see Adi Shankaracharya, he talks about Advaita. Ramanujacharya, Dvaita. Both are correct, but with the right knowledge, there is nothing but Advaita only. There is only one existence. That is why there is only one existence, because the Brahman only is manifested in the form of entire universe. So the universe and Brahman, if people think that these are two, Dvait, it is incorrect. With the right knowledge, the same Brahman is being expressed in the form of the whole universe. So when that knowledge percolates, then for that person, the whole Jagat and consciousness, the Atma, are not two different entities.
We touched a lot of topics. I think maybe in the future we can delve into some of these topics more elaborately. I think what I have, I think myself as Arjuna, because I am driven by, my body is like a chariot with all these different desires and driving me. And so I think it is important for us how we can make Gita relevant by practicing, understanding a lot of you don't need to know all the slokas, and you don't need to know, it's a dialogue form. You can read it and make it relevant to yourself in one's day-to-day life. I think that is very important, because a lot of us, I remember my wife, who was a teacher in one of the schools, West Windsor Plainsboro School, and the children were coming and they were asking, tell you who is your God, and Christians were saying Christ, and Muslims were saying Allah, and when it came to Hindus, they're all confused. The children were confused. My wife told them, hey, Krishna is your God, why don't you to talk about that? And so basically we have to help our youngsters understand the complexity. We want to take the complexity, peel it like an onion, different layers, and trying to get them. Not everybody may be ready for Jnana Yoga, but I think there are Bhakti Yoga and Karma Yoga. You can follow the path to ultimately reach Krishna.
Among Hindus, they have got so many deities. In so many forms, they keep worshipping. The problem of Hindus, they do not study their scriptures properly. If they study Bhagavad Gita properly, they will understand all these deities' forms are nothing but incarnations at different times to perform different role for different purpose. But all these deities' forms are from same one Brahman. from one Brahman only. And that Brahman, partial incarnations also appear as some of the prophets or as some of the gurus. Those are partial because they are not with the full excellences and the wisdom. But two incarnations, Ram and Krishna, they are called, let me explain that also. Incarnations are four kinds: Pravesha avatar, Avesha avatar, Spurti avatar, and Bhiva avatar. Ram and Krishna are called Bhiva avatar, means they have come with the excellences. Krishna avatar, when Brahman appears in Krishna's form, Mahavishnu appears in Krishna's form, in that form he is with complete excellences. That is how he could show within his body itself the whole universe. So, but the problem is, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, people, because of certain desire driven, they keep worshipping in different forms. If somebody is interested in acquiring the knowledge, will be worshipping Saraswati. If somebody is interested to acquire more wealth, he or she will be worshipping Lakshmi. If somebody is scared of death, will be worshipping Lord Shiva. But these are all ignorance. Krishna says that these people who worship in different forms, worshipping all of them ultimately comes to me only, Arjun, and everybody's desire is fulfilled by my laws of nature, but they will not get me. See, Krishna says, you worship in any other form, you will not reach me. Your desires can be fulfilled. You may get something, but you will not get the ultimate state. By worshipping in the form of Krishna, knowing that he is the complete incarnation with excellences of Brahman, is Krishna. That is why you will see all Jnani people, they will be worshipping in the form of Krishna. And in that form he comes and gives the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, which is the ultimate knowledge. That is why there is a verse in Bhagavad Gita in which Krishna says, Bahu nam janmana mante, Gyanvan mam prapaddate. Mam Vasudev Sarmiti Sav Mahatma Sudurlabha. Mam शब्द मैंने जोड़ दिया है, गीता में मम नहीं है. इसका अर्थ ये है, कहते हैं कि बहु नाम जन्मनामंत, बहुत जन्म और मरण के अंत में ज्ञानवान माम प्रपद्यते, जो ज्ञान प्राप्त कर लेते हैं वो पूर्ण रूप से मुझ में समर्पित हो जाते हैं. Means they become totally devoted to me.
After many
birth and death, if they acquire the knowledge, they fully gets devoted, surrendered to me. Then for that person, he says, Mam sabd maine joda. I added mum, but there is no mum in Bhagavad. Means मैं वासुदेव कृष्ण ही सब में व्याप्त हूँ. I am the one who is present in everyone. And for that person, he says, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Sa means Sanskrit, Vah means that person is Mahatma and he is very, very rare. Sudurlabha. So you see, Krishna says everything in Bhagavad Gita.
One last thing, Sharmaji, I think, after COVID, like pandemic, a lot of people had this fear that came about, different diseases and dying. And Krishna Bhagavan says that those who are born have to die, and those who die have to be reborn. Maybe you want to talk about reincarnation, that is, people talk about.
In fact, for me, there is no death. There is no death because Atma,
There's no
which
death.
is Brahma.
There's no
Do you think that the Brahma is going to die?
No, the body may die.
Atma is going to die?
No.
There's no death. So the fear of death is nothing but delusion created by Maya. What dies is the body. And even body does not die. Actually, that also has to be understood. The soul which emerges from Atma, which is Jiva, leaves the body, disconnect with the body, then the body loses all its senses. It loses his existence in that form. So it goes back to its real form. And what is its real form? Back to the soil, water, fire, space.
Yeah, Panchabhuta.
Panchabhuta. So the body is constituted by this Panchabhuta. It is transformed into a body. Now the body, when it is disconnected by the Jiva, it is transformed back to the Panchabhuta. So where there is death, there is only transformation. And soul, Jiva, lives one body and acquires another body, which Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, as you wear
Different clothes.
and new dress, and when it becomes tattered, you throw it, discard it. So similarly, when we are attaining the old age, body starts, dysfunctioning, giving trouble. Or if one gets some disease, the body gives lots of experience of lot of suffering. Then it is better to discard that body, acquire another body. So there is only, the entire universe is running into a cyclic order, Upendraji. There is no destruction because everything is eternal. In eternity, there is no destruction. There is only transformation. And the cycle of transformation, the chakra, Shiva is called Mahakal because Shiva is responsible for running the cycle of the universe. That he is not the god of death. He does not cause death. He is only that power of Brahman in the form of Shiva is to keep the cyclic order keep going on.
So I go to Kala Bhairav, right?
That is why, no, Bhairav is different, but Mahakal. So Shiva is Mahakal and he is not god of death. It is misunderstanding of the people because of there is a Puranic, story about Markandeya Rishi. When his father knew that, he was going to die very early, he said, you go and hug Shivlinga and keep chanting the mantra, So he kept chanting. So then when his death time came and Yamaraj, came to take him, Lord Shiva appeared and said, no, his death is not going to happen. So that giving such kind of boon, that kind of power is there with Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Because these are the three entities like CEO, CFO, COO to run the whole manifestations. So once one understands that even these three entities, these three powers are also nothing, they are also the same as what we are. Only difference is they are with more excellences, we are with limited excellences in this body. But when we bring ourselves to the level of that level of knowledge, we are not different from Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. We are all the same. So aham brahmasmi. I am Atma Brahma. Tattvamasi. All these Mahavakyas, when the rishis realized, they uttered these Mahavakyas, which you find in Vedas.
Thank you, Sharmaji. I think, we touched a lot of topics and Bhagavad Gita is trying to open up, make it understandable by people like me, ordinary people. It's very important, especially for our younger generation, to embrace in terms of understand. You don't have to just believe. I think it's about seeking information. It's not about believing. and understanding, and with the introspection, one can really find a Brahman within you, and Brahma, understand that. I think that is very important. Dharmaji, any closing thoughts for you?
Yes. My closing thought will be to all people who would be witnessing our conversation that please study Bhagavad Gita with devotion. We don't have to believe. We have to realize, understand, and close your eyes and try to contemplate upon whatever you have understood. Contemplate upon that within yourself. Your self itself will reveal within. And when that revelation comes from within, because of that only, you would be able to know that who actually you are. And at that stage, there will be no suffering, there will be no ignorance. So it is very important. It is not a matter of faith, it is a matter of self-realization, ourself. So it's very important for all people, they should study Bhagavad Gita, from which they can acquire this knowledge. And the journey should be started from early age. I would suggest that the parents should also encourage their children to start studying Bhagavad Gita from early days, as my father told me, and I started my journey from the time I was a student of class 10. Not even I had passed my high school.
So thank you, Sharmaji. I think it is a very valuable time you have taken, and to share with the viewers that there is so much more beyond acquiring wealth and trying to go after our desires. There's something more about knowledge.
So chanting one verse, Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kanschanura Mardanam Devaki Parmanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadguru. Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.